guys, welcome back to the channel. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Divyanka and I'm a doctor of pharmacy here in the US. On this channel, I strive to provide you guys with resources to build your ideal professional life. Today, we are going over ways to make the most of pharmacy school. Pharmacy school is a great time and comes with so many different opportunities, but you want to make sure that you actually take on those opportunities, make the most of your 6 or 8 years in pharmacy school so that you actually squeeze every bit out that you can. Make sure you make your resume as robust as possible to then, of course, hopefully land your dream job after you graduate. I also feel like I went after a few different types of experiences within my pharmacy school years, and I think that really helped me decide what I want to do after I graduate and then equipped me to do well in my future. So I hope to shed some light on this topic. I can definitely make more videos on this. I think there's many ways to go about really making the most of pharmacy school. So let this video be the first icebreaker of this topic, and we will definitely discuss this more on this channel. The first thing you want to do to make sure you're making the most of pharmacy school is, of course, to gain experience outside of your didactic lectures. Now, within pharmacy school, like I mentioned, there are so many different opportunities to do this. First of all, you want to definitely utilize your summers. Even though there's a good amount of summers where you need to do some rotations, there's ample time, ample amounts of summers to actually get experience in. And within those summers, 3 to 4 months, that is a lot of time to, again, gain experiences and that to gain different types of experiences. So even starting from freshman year, really try to utilize all the time that's possible between your schooling years and get as much experience as possible. Other times to gain experience is definitely through your first IPPE rotations. Those are usually around 3 to 4 weeks, but make sure that, of course, when you're choosing them, you're putting the effort in to really make sure you're getting different experiences. The same, of course, goes for APPEs, and that happens in your 6th year of pharmacy school or your last graduate year of pharmacy school. And that year is just rotations. It's usually 5 to 6 weeks, depending on your school. So when you're choosing those, really be sure that you're gaining different types of experiences and great experience across the board. Now, outside of your IPPEs, your APPEs, and your summers, you can also actually utilize your school years. I did this for most of my years in pharmacy school. You can 100% work part-time somewhere, and it can be different every single year. You can do it on campus, you can be off campus, you can have a non-pharmacy related part-time job. There's a lot of options. And if you can make it work, especially those years with the challenging schoolwork, then it's definitely worth it. You going after experiences even while you're in school says a lot about you and your drive, and it'll speak loads once it's on your resume. So definitely try to infuse that. And again, that's really the way you can squeeze the most out of your time. You can work part-time, make some money on the side, and of course, it's going to add to your resume. The next way to make the most of pharmacy school is to make sure that you're getting different types of experiences. Now, like I mentioned, with your IPPEs and APPEs, those are going to be very pharmacy-specific experiences. And that's great. That's great that it's actually infused into our program, and we get that directly because a lot of programs don't do that. But while you're searching for opportunities outside of those rotations, I do highly suggest making them very different, gaining experiences in things that you might not even know that you like, because that's the only time and way that you can explore. You're not married to it as a student. You don't have to actually waste time. It's all exploring. It's all a learning phase. So if you're going to be exploring at any point, this is the time to do so. You don't want to graduate, get into a job, and realize, oh, I don't really like this, when you could have honestly gotten that experience in school. This is your time to experiment. That's what I used it for, and it honestly paid off so much. So don't really think about what it is you want to do. Just get your feet wet in all sorts of things. And for me, I was actually a research lab assistant that was not infused with the whole pharmacy curriculum or related to pharmacy at all, and that was a completely side part-time role. I'm also a super artistic, creative person, so I competitively danced throughout my years of schooling. I did YouTube YouTube, I did dance on YouTube, I did so many different things. So I really do encourage you guys to play with different skill sets, learn different things, and actually do and get experience in that, because that's actually going to help you. It's going to make you realize what things you want to do. And especially within pharmacy, there's so much you can do in terms of your career that this is your time to experiment and see, okay, do I want to work in pharma, or do I want to work in managed care, or do I want to work as a consultant? There's so many different things you can really play with. So experiment during your years of school so that you don't have to after you graduate. Now, the next thing you want to make sure to do during pharmacy school, and honestly in the earlier years, is work on your time management skills. Especially when it comes to the later years of pharmacy school, and honestly in the professional world, time management is a huge skill set you're going to need regardless of what career you do. And honestly, the earlier you work on it, the better. You're going to need time management skills in so many different ways: for school projects, for school work, for studying for exams, for doing that part-time job I was talking about, for getting involved in clubs and organizations on campus, for getting involved in leadership positions. These are all things you want to be doing, but you're not going to be able to be successful at doing all of that if you don't have time management skills. So you're gonna make it harder on yourself if you don't work on this earlier. And so really try to be intentional about this. Set your schedule, work on how to actually get everything done in a manageable amount of time. And again, this is the only way you're gonna be able to add more experiences and responsibilities into your schedule, because otherwise it's just gonna be school, and in and of itself, that's super hard. So whether this is taking a course on time management or watching YouTube videos or however you absorb information, make sure you are intentionally working on your time management skills. You want to be learning this as a student, not as a professional, so just work on it earlier. My next tip is to get involved. When you're nearing the time where you have to get a job and you have to get your resume in tip-top shape, you are going to realize that you should have gotten involved a long time ago. So this is my little notification to you to get involved as early as possible. Most of your peers, most of the students are going to have some sort of leadership opportunities on their resume. They're going to be getting involved in different organizations and e-boards, and this can be both off campus and on campus, but get involved. The more involved you are, the more you're going to learn, the more opportunities are going to naturally come to you. And the leadership skills portion is extremely important, because that is 100% what you want to highlight on a resume in the future, and that is what professionals and your future employers are going to be looking for. So prep yourself for it. Use the 6 to 8 years in pharmacy school. Really get involved, build your resume, build your leadership skills, because this is the time to do it. And if you don't, you will regret it. This is one of those things that's honestly only possible if you start early. You can't just start your last few years of pharmacy school and expect to become a president of an organization. You have to get involved earlier to then make your way up to that. So again, take this personally. Make sure you are involved, and make sure that that is one way you are 100% making use of pharmacy school. And my next and last tip is to start networking early. Networking is probably something you've heard in all of my videos, and it was something that I used to hear from so many people, and it is honestly very important. And again, it's one of those things that the earlier you start, the better for you. Networking is always going to be a part of the professional world, so you might as well get good at it early. Start meeting people, start meeting professionals, start talking to professionals earlier, because then once you're wanting something from someone, when you're going to be talking to people about getting jobs, and when you're actually going to be needing those people, you're not going to be having to learn those skills at the same time, and by that point you probably will already have a very strong network. So just start early. This is so important. These are things that, again, I wish somebody sat down and told me. So definitely take this personally. Think about it. Think about how you can start networking. Start easy. Start with upperclassmen. Start with alumni. Start with professors. And then just move your way up from there. You have time if you start early. Just make sure you start infusing it slowly. Even if you just talk to one person a month, be intentional about it, and again, this is only going to help you in the long run. Those were 5 ways to make the most of pharmacy school. Again, as a beginner list, we could definitely dive into each one of these a lot more deeper, but I want you guys to start thinking about this because it is very important. You have a lot of opportunities, a lot of resources that are given to you in pharmacy school, and I don't want you guys wasting that. So these are some ways that you can really make sure you're using all of that. Overall, this is a very important topic. You have a lot of time in pharmacy school, a lot of great people, a lot of great resources that you only have as a student that you really want to make sure you utilize during those years. So definitely start thinking about this intentionally if you haven't. If you're already ahead of the game, think about where you can add some more of these things. If you already have a lot of experience, think about maybe gaining other types of experience, etc. Looking back at pharmacy school, I know I honestly did a lot of this and I probably didn't have time to do more, but if I went back, I could probably infuse more of these things. So all of us can grow in all of these arenas, and these are things that I'm still working on with the resources that I currently have as a professional. So again, make use of what's around you. I do hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you guys thought it was, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already so we can continue this conversation. If you guys have any other follow-up questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I respond to you guys almost literally every single day. That is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for stopping by. Again, I hope this was helpful, and as always, you guys will see me in the next video.